Hey friends, Ryan Frank, welcome to the Daily Coffee Chat with Ryan Frank. How's it going? Hey, there's a number on the screen, 833-792-6372. If you have a question or a topic or someone that you really think I need to include on the coffee chat, let us know. Big thanks to Sean Sweet for being my guest host yesterday. I have another guest host coming tomorrow because I am going to Atlanta. We're going to start shooting some of my videos for Global Kidmin Day. So Esther Moreno is your guest host tomorrow in the Daily Coffee Chat. Big shout out to Sean. Thank you, Sean, for a great coffee chat yesterday. And also big shout out to Esther Moreno. Thank you, Esther, for being my guest host tomorrow. Friends, the no-brainer deal in Kidmin is this one right here. It is joining Kids Matter Pro. If you aren't part of Kids Matter Pro, I'm telling you, you're missing out as a Kidmin leader. Every month I give you free downloads. Now look, I promise you $20 worth of downloads because Kids Matter Pro costs $19.95 a month. So about 20 bucks a month. So I promise you at least $20 a month in downloads. But check this out for July. If you join Kids Matter Pro in July, look what you get. $59 in downloads. You get 2 of our brand new interactive countdowns. These are countdown timers on the screen, but the kids don't just stare and watch. They get up and do, and they do stuff. They talk to their friends next to them, and all that good stuff. And then you also get a teaching unit called You've Got Talent. This is a 3-week teaching series, perfect for in-person or on Zoom. $39 on the Kids Matter store. $59 value. And that's not all you get. Look, what you need to do is you need to push this Kids Matter Pro membership button at the top. There's a video where I tell you what Kids Matter Pro is. I'm going to send you Kids Matter magazine in the mail. This is the latest issue. The next issue is our MegaCon fall issue. And you'll get that in the mail, in your mailbox. I give you a subscription to Kids Matter. I give you 3 brand new downloads each month. In June, it was 4 downloads. In July, this month, it's back to 3, but it's $59 worth of downloads that you get. So if you enjoy downloading stuff at Kids Matter, it's really a no-brainer deal because I give you that back in downloads every month. And then we do a coaching call. Our next coaching call is tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Central. If you join Kids Matter Pro today, you'll get an invite to my coaching call tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk to the members of Kids Matter Pro about how to deal with difficult people and critical people. How to deal with critical people. You ever have any critical people? I'm going to discuss it with you, and I'm going to talk to you, or I'm going to take time to answer your questions. 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you get into Kids Matter Pro and you're like, I don't have the budget for this anymore, or it's not what I thought, or I'm not receiving the value I hope I would. That's never happened where someone has said I've not received the value that I hoped that you promised. But I'm not going to ask any questions. All you have to do is say, send us an email and say, I want to cancel my membership. 0 questions. We push a button. It's canceled. So friends, what you need to do is go to kidsmatter.com. And right there in the red bar at the top, push Kids Matter Pro membership. Now listen, we've got all kinds of new stuff at Kids Matter. We've added 20 new downloads just this week. And they're great. Videos, teaching stuff, family discipleship, social media graphics. We've got a new countdown timer, worship videos. If you go back 10 days, we've added probably 30 downloads. So go check it out at kidsmatter.com. Make sure you check out Kids Matter Pro, and get your membership. It is the no-brainer deal in Kidmin. I've got my coffee from Lucy's Car Wash and Drive-Thru. Good coffee. Next time you're in Converse, Indiana, go check out our car wash and our drive-through convenience store. If you're not following it on Facebook, find it on Facebook. Go to Facebook and find our Facebook page. Just type in Lucy's, Lucis, car wash and drive-through, and you'll see it. One of the best books that I read a few years back is this one right here by two brothers, Chip Heath and Dan Heath, Made to Stick. Made to Stick. Why some ideas survive and others die. This is a New York Times bestseller. I've written it. I bought copies of this and sent it to people in the mail when I know they are stuck, because it's not a ministry book. It's really more for marketplace leaders, but there's a lot of ministry application in this book. One thing that Chip Heath and Dan Heath talk about is how do you really get people's attention? After all, why some ideas survive and don't is really a matter of getting attention. You know, it used to be easy to get people's attention. By the way, I'm calling this episode of the Coffee Chat. What am I calling it? Andy, what am I calling this thing? You there, Andy? And I'm forgetting the word.
Hey, you are calling this thing an unconventional way to get people's attention.
Yes, I could not think of the word. An unconventional. Now, Andy, what did you tell me when I told you that was a title?
Really, you're going to do this?
You told me you know lots of unconventional ways.
I know several methods of doing that, none of which are legal.
Yep, and I promised, Andy, we will not talk about those methods today.
No, let's not.
All right.
That's probably good policy.
Andy, peace out. All right. I'm going to talk about an unconventional way to get people's attention. An unconventional way to get people's attention. Here's the thing. You go back 50 years, go back 100 years, go back 150 years. If you wanted to get people's attention, all you needed to do was step up on a platform. Step up on a platform and you've got people's attention. Well, you know what? Those platforms have changed today. It requires more than being elevated 3 to 5 feet above a crowd of people to get their attention because of this thing right here. With this device, by the way, did you know that with this phone that you hold in your hand, this phone, you have a more powerful computer than Ronald Reagan had to run the entire country with this phone that you hold in your hands. And with social media and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and podcasts and Snapchat and all the other social networks, it's harder and harder to get people's attention because of the media that happens. Now, the purpose of my talk is not to talk about social media today. Carrie Newhoff, I got an email from Carrie Newhoff, like several of you did yesterday, if you're on his email list. He said, you need to stop thinking about social media, and you need to think about it as social ministry. Social media has changed the way we do ministry. Social media has also changed the way we get people's attention. Now, in the book, these guys say one of the most basic ways to get people's attention. Now, listen, in the book, they called it a basic way. For sake of this conversation and this coffee chat, I'm calling it an unprecedented way of getting someone's attention is this. It is breaking a pattern. Breaking a pattern. One of the most basic ways, and made to stick, one of the most unprecedented ways that you can get someone's attention is to break a pattern. To break a pattern. You've seen this before. You go to get your hair cut, and there's a sign on the board that says that our haircuts cost $5 more. A pattern was broken. It gets everybody's attention, right? One of the most basic ways to get someone's attention is to break a pattern. What happens at church when you decide that instead of doing Sunday school, we're going to do small groups? I know what happens. You create a church split, right? Now, what you are doing, you're breaking a pattern and you are getting everyone's attention. When we decided a few years ago that we were going to start a national conference for children's pastors called Kidmin Nation MegaCon. How is it possible that the very first year we had the same numbers as the other major national conferences that have been around for years and years? Because we broke a pattern. We broke a pattern. We decided that conferences don't have to cost $300 or $400. You should be able to attend a conference for $100 or $150. In fact, that first conference, it was $79. We broke a pattern and we got people's attention. We decided that instead of a conference just being 3 days, it should be year round. And that broke a pattern and it got people's attention. We decided that instead of just showing up at a conference and getting some door prizes that are on an 8-foot table, we're going to give away a car. And that's why every year at our conference in the fall, someone leaves with the keys to a new car. We've done this for 3 or 4 years now, as long as we've been doing our conference. It breaks patterns. That's an example. When you break a pattern, you get someone's attention. Kidsmatter.com. It's performing better than it ever has. I shouldn't say ever. I'll say it's performing better even during a pandemic than it has in 5 years. More web traffic than ever before, more revenue being generated than ever before for our ministry, and half of it goes back into the pocket of children's pastors, which is pretty cool. How is it that during a pandemic, a website like Kids Matter can see record number of visitors on the site, record number of email addresses for new children's pastors being captured, more sales being generated to revenue to support our ministry because we broke a pattern. This pandemic started, and prior to the pandemic, if you went to kidsmatter.com, Kids Matter was a website where you could subscribe to Kids Matter magazine, you could read articles from the magazine, you could find video content that supported the articles of the magazine. And then there was a really small online store with a handful of our resources. This pandemic struck, and we decided we're going to break a pattern. Everybody in the I Love Kidmin community, our Facebook group, was asking for downloads for Zoom and help. What are we going to do? We need videos for Zoom. And so we got our team together, and in 5 days, we launched a brand new kidsmatter.com. Started with about 20 downloads for things that you could use on Zoom to help these parents that are quarantined with their kids, and things that you could do in your Zoom or your pre-recorded programming that you were going to stream to your parents. And a pattern was broke. And next thing you know, if you've been on Kids Matter recently, you see it keeps growing and growing and growing and growing. Just as I told you a little bit ago, in the last 10 days, we probably have added 30 or 40 downloads to kidsmatter.com. And what's really cool is most of these downloads are coming from people like you, from the Kidmin community. Here's how it works. You create a resource that you're using in your ministry. You submit it to Kids Matter. If it's good to go, we put it on kidsmatter.com. If it needs some help, we'll help you dress up the graphics. We share it with the Kidmin community. Every month, we send you a royalty check. And it's pretty sweet. What can you use that royalty check for? That's totally up to you. You can use it to bless your family. You can use it to bless your ministry. And thousands of churches and ministry leaders like yourself are being helped. How did kidsmatter.com get so much attention during such a short time, during such a crazy day? Because a pattern was broken. Now you stop and think about it. See how many of these you resonate with. Now it's time to get to my notes. I've only got a few more minutes. How many of these do you resonate with? Because listen, so much of what we do in Kidmin is predictable. The way we plan our services. Think about your kids' services. Think about your children's church. Think about your Sunday morning programming. I know it's all changed during this pandemic, but I'm thinking big picture, think about it. A lot of our weekly programming and the way we plan is predictable. The way we deliver resources to kids and parents, predictable. They know exactly what's coming this Sunday and the next Sunday and the next Sunday. The way we teach is predictable. This is why you've got to constantly be adding new tools to your toolbox. Now I'm getting into the solution. Let me just continue to stick with the problem. Okay. The way we plan our services, the way we teach, the way we communicate. What about the way we communicate with our volunteers, our parents, our church? It's so predictable. The way we run events. Now, I know this summer, it's not predictable because everything is changing, but I'm talking about big picture, the way we run events. It's pretty predictable in how you do your VBS and how I do mine and how you run your camp and what your fall outreach looks like and what your winter camp looks like. And you get the point. The way we recruit is often predictable. We recruit the same way. The way we hire is predictable. We hire the same way. Here's what we need to do, friends. You can tweet this. We need to break the guessing machine. It's time to break the guessing machine, where my kids can guess what's going to happen this Sunday, where my volunteers can guess how I'm going to communicate with them this month, where my parents can guess at what kind of resources are going to be provided to them and how it's going to be delivered, where my pastor and the elders and the board can guess at what next year's plan and budget is going to look like. It is time to break the guessing machine, and it is time to start breaking patterns, or another way of saying it, interrupting patterns. Whenever you interrupt a pattern, you get people's attention. There are a lot of you that are on my text messaging list. And Andy, maybe you can go over to ryanfrank.com. I think it's ryanfrank.com/insider. Double check that link and drop it into the coffee chat comments. If you're not getting my text messages, I'd love to start sending you my text messages. Did you know that whenever I send a text, now listen, I send emails all the time, okay? If you're on my email list, there's 40-some thousand of you that are on my email list. You got an email from me this morning. At least I hope you did. If you didn't, check your junk or your spam, add me to your contacts so it hits your inbox. But I send emails all the time. And you know what? Majority of you don't open your emails, okay? And I think that's the case for anyone who sends emails these days in the business world and in the marketplace. People don't open their emails. Why? Because you get so many emails. But here's the thing. When I send a text message, like 98% of you read your text messages. And 90% of you read them within 5 minutes of me sending them. Why? Because we get emails all the time. But a text message kind of breaks my pattern, right? What can you do to start breaking some patterns? Think about where you feel like you are stuck. Think about where you feel like you're stuck. Maybe you're stuck with your volunteers. And you're like, man, our volunteers really need a shot in the arm. Our volunteers, we need some new lifeblood. I know blood's kind of a gross word picture, but we need some new blood. We need some new life. We need some new morale with our children's ministry team. Hey, this COVID's been so weird that our volunteers, they need to be refocused and brought back on board. It's almost like I have to rebuild my team. Every week, I hear from at least a half a dozen kids pastors that send me Facebook messages or Instagram messages that say, Ryan, I feel like I'm rebuilding my team. And you know what? To a large degree, a lot of you are doing that right now. Okay, if you feel like your team is stuck, you need to break a pattern. You need to interrupt a pattern. Now, can you guess what I'm going to tell you need to do? It's coming on August the 8th. It's Global Kidmin Day. Global Kidmin Day is a great way to break a pattern. Now, let me share my screen. I hadn't planned on talking about Global Kidmin Day, but let me go there. Okay, you go to globalkidminday.com. Global Kidmin Day happens on August the 8th. Now, prior to COVID, here's what we were hoping. We were hoping that churches all around the globe would gather at their church on August 8th, 9 a.m., whatever their local time is, for this 3-hour event. Now, and then COVID struck. Now, we still have a good number of churches that are going to attempt to gather. But for a lot of churches, you just can't gather if you wanted to. So we have online and on-site options. Here's the thing about Global Kidmin Day. It's like a simulcast, but it's not a simulcast. It is because it's all pre-recorded. I'm going to Atlanta this weekend. I'm going to start shooting video for Global Kidmin Day. Our speakers are shooting their videos this week and next week. 10 days before Global Kidmin Day, you're going to get a video file delivered to you. So all you need for Global Kidmin Day is your computer and a screen if you're doing this on site. If you want to do it virtually, I'm going to give you a custom link for your church that's password protected. You will share it with your volunteers and say, here, on August 8th, or if August 8th doesn't work for you, I don't care when you do this. If you want to do it on September 8th or October 8th, my heart is to help your team get encouraged and equipped and a shot in the arm. And I want to help you help your team. You could also, because you're downloading this video 10 days in advance, you could broadcast it on Zoom for your volunteers. Just share your screen, push play, broadcast it on Zoom. Hundreds of churches from nations all around the world are participating in Global Kidmin Day. Global Kidmin Day, you're going to receive benefit if you're a kids pastor or a children's ministry director, but it's really intended for your team, for your volunteers. Now, check out this video. Let me share it with you from Esther Moreno.
Listen, I am on here to tell you about something incredible that is happening that I do not want you to miss. Global Kidmin Day is happening next month. Are you signed up? Have you registered your children's ministry team for this? If not, what are you guys waiting for? Everything has changed, and we have been given an opportunity to do a reset, a fresh chance to revolutionize our approach and evaluate our methods so that we can truly reach the generation of tomorrow. That is why we do what we do. That is why we are in children's ministry. You are not just a warm body filling a slot. You are a difference maker, a world changer, and a mighty ambassador for Christ and bringing the little ones to Him. I don't care what your role is in children's ministry. I don't care if you are greeting at the door. Every job is needed. Every job is significant and requires training, you guys, for maximum impact. So don't miss this amazing day, Global Kidmin Day. Amazing speakers that will catapult you and your children's ministry team to the next level. So sign up. I'm serious. Go now and register. If you're serving in children's ministry, ask your children's pastor, why aren't we doing this? And if you are over a children's ministry department, sign up your team today. And I will see you at Global Kidmin Day.
Love that video. Thank you, Esther. Okay, let me figure out how to get off of, there we go. Sorry, technical issues on my part. Point in showing you that video is if you feel like your volunteers are in a rut, if you feel like you're stuck with your team, if you feel like I've got to rebuild, what do I do? Here's a no-brainer solution, globalkidminday.com. If you feel like you are stuck as a leader, break a pattern in your life, do something, right? Make a new friend. Go attend some online event, read a book you never thought you would read, listen to a podcast you never thought you'd listen to, change your schedule, change your day off, do something to break a pattern. It's time to break the guessing machine. one of the best ways in Made to Stick to get someone's attention is to break a pattern. One of the most unprecedented ways that as kids pastors we can get people's attention is break a pattern. Whatever you normally did, do something different. You'll get everyone's attention. I love Kid Men, Kids Matter community. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for joining me on the Daily Coffee Chat. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to be in Atlanta shooting videos for Global Kid Men Day. My guest host tomorrow, and she has a lineup of guests that she is bringing onto the show. It's going to be really great, is Esther Moreno. So hope that you tune in. Tune in tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central. Love to keep the conversation rolling in the I Love Kid Men Facebook community. Friends, see you tomorrow.